Most veterans who reach 100% VA disability rating do it by combining several service-connected conditions through VA math. But that isn't the only way it can happen. In some cases, one service-connected disability can receive a 100% rating all by itself. In other cases, that condition may not actually be rated at 100%, but it can still cause the veteran to be paid at the 100% rate. Those may sound like the same thing, but they're not. And here's another important distinction. A 100% rating doesn't automatically mean you're permanent and total. In this video, we're going to look at 5 ways one service-connected disability can get you the 100% compensation level, and what each one really means. Welcome back to The Humble Veteran. Before we get into the list, there are 3 terms that we need to define. The first is 100% schedular rating. That means the condition itself meets the VA's criteria for 100% evaluation. The second is total disability based on individual unemployability, commonly called TDIU. With TDIU, your actual disability rating may remain below 100%, but the VA still pays you at the 100% rate because your service-connected condition prevents you from maintaining substantially gainful employment. There are also employment and income rules that you need to understand if you want to receive TDIU. That doesn't necessarily mean you can't earn any money at all. Marginal employment may be allowed, and certain protected work environments can also be treated differently. We'll talk more about that later in this video. The third term is permanent and total status, commonly known as P&T. Permanent and total generally means that the VA considers you totally disabled and doesn't expect your condition to improve. You can be rated at 100% without being permanent and total, and that distinction will become more important as we go through this list. One of the clearest examples of a single condition that receives a 100% rating is called amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, better known as ALS or Lou Gehrig's disease. Under the VA rating schedule, service-connected ALS receives a minimum 100% evaluation. And the word minimum is the key word here. Unlike most conditions, a veteran doesn't have to prove that ALS has progressed to a particular level before the 100% evaluation applies. Once ALS is service-connected, the minimum schedular rating is going to be 100%. So how does a veteran establish a service connection for ALS? Well, for most veterans, the process is much simpler than any other condition. ALS is generally presumed to be service-connected when it develops after at least 90 days of continuous active military service. You will still need a confirmed diagnosis, and you still need to file a claim. But in most cases, you don't have to prove that a particular exposure or event, military job, or location caused the disease. Now, there are limited exceptions to this presumption, and normal VA eligibility requirements still apply, including the character of your discharge. But for most qualifying veterans, the active service itself establishes the connection. Research has found that veterans appear to have a higher risk of developing ALS than people who never served in the military. Exactly why military service is associated with the increased risk is still not fully understood. The second way for 100% is for one condition to become severe enough that it meets the VA's schedular criteria for that 100% rating. This is where conditions such as PTSD or heart disease, respiratory disease, kidney disease, and other certain neurological conditions may qualify. But there's an important point here. The diagnosis alone doesn't determine the rating, as is the case with ALS. 2 veterans can have the same service-connected condition and receive very different percentages because the condition may affect them differently. Let's use PTSD as an example. PTSD and other mental health conditions can be rated at 100%, but the VA standard is extremely high. The condition must cause total occupational and social impairment. And that goes beyond simply having serious symptoms or having difficulty maintaining a job. The VA looks at the overall effect the condition has on your ability to work, maintain relationships, communicate, care for yourself, and function in day-to-day life. A veteran may have severe PTSD and still receive a 70% rating if the evidence doesn't show that it's a total occupational and social impairment. That's also why being unable to work doesn't automatically mean you qualify for a schedular 100% mental health rating. You may qualify for TDIU, but that's a different type of benefit. The same general idea applies to physical conditions. A serious heart condition may reach 100% when the medical evidence meets the specific requirements in the rating schedule. Certain respiratory conditions may also reach 100% based on testing results, treatment requirements, or the level of functional impairment that they may cause. The main lesson here is this: many conditions can potentially receive a 100% rating, but only when the evidence shows that the condition meets the actual 100% criteria. The third way one condition can receive a 100% rating is active service-connected cancer. Many active cancers are evaluated 100% while the disease is active or while you're receiving qualifying treatment. But this is also one of the best examples of why a 100% rating doesn't necessarily mean permanent and total. After your cancer treatment ends, the 100% evaluation may still continue for a period of time under that diagnostic code. The VA may then schedule for another examination. And if the cancer is still active or has returned or spread to another area, that rating may continue. But if the cancer is in remission, the VA may evaluate the remaining effects of the cancer and its treatment. However, the original 100% cancer rating may not continue indefinitely once the cancer is no longer active. The exact rules and timelines can vary depending on the type of cancer and its diagnostic code. The fourth way involves a temporary 100% rating that's related to treatment of one service-connected disability. For example, you may receive temporary 100% evaluation after surgery for a service-connected condition and when the recovery meets the VA's requirements. This is commonly called a convalescent rating. A convalescent rating may be available when surgery requires at least 1 month of recovery. It may also apply when surgery results in severe postoperative complications or when a major joint is immobilized by a cast with or without surgery. These ratings are generally granted for an initial period of 1, 2, or 3 months. Extensions may be available if the medical evidence shows that more recovery time is needed. A knee replacement, for example, may receive a temporary 100% evaluation under the applicable rating criteria. The exact length of that rating depends on the procedure and the diagnostic code being used. Temporary 100% compensation may also be available when you're hospitalized for more than 21 days because of a service-connected condition. The purpose here is to compensate you at the 100% rate during your hospitalization, treatment, and recovery. But as the name suggests, this rating is temporary. Once that qualifying period ends, the VA will generally assign the appropriate evaluation for the underlying condition. The VA also may schedule you for a follow-up C&P exam to determine the severity of the condition after it is stabilized. This is another example of a veteran being legitimately rated at 100% while still not being considered permanent and total. And finally, the fifth way is individual unemployability based on a single service-connected disability. TDIU allows the VA to pay you at a 100% rate when a service-connected disability prevents you from securing or maintaining substantially gainful employment. When TDIU is based on one condition, that condition generally needs to be rated at least 60% or higher. There are situations where the VA may treat multiple disabilities as one for purposes of meeting that percentage requirement. There may also be cases where a veteran can be considered for TDIU even without meeting the normal percentage thresholds. But for the single condition example we're discussing here, the usual starting point is one disability rated at least 60%. Meeting that percentage requirement alone doesn't automatically qualify you for TDIU. The evidence must also show that that service-connected condition prevents you from maintaining substantially gainful employment. The VA may consider your work history, your education, job training, physical limitations, and mental limitations. Here's the important difference. With TDIU, your underlying disability rating doesn't become 100%. You may have one condition rated at 60% and another at 70%, and that schedular rating usually stays the same. The VA simply pays you at the 100% rate because the condition prevents you from having substantially gainful employment. That distinction can matter. TDIU has employment rules that don't normally apply to someone with a regular 100% schedular rating. But TDIU doesn't always mean you're prohibited from doing any work whatsoever. Marginal employment generally isn't considered substantially gainful employment. That usually includes employment where your earned income doesn't exceed the federal poverty thresholds. Employment in a protected environment may also be considered marginal in some circumstances, even when the income is higher. An example might be working for a family business or another employer that provides substantial accommodations that wouldn't normally be available in the general public. As you can tell, these cases can become more complicated. Veterans receiving TDIU should understand all the rules before returning to work, substantially increasing their income, or making a major change in employment. So what about catastrophic injuries? There's one more area worth mentioning, and it involves catastrophic injuries. A service-connected injury or disease can result in the loss or the use of limbs, blindness, or the need for regular aid and attendance. These cases can involve a combination of schedule ratings and special monthly compensation. In some situations, the veteran may receive compensation above the normal 100% rate. Because those cases depend heavily on a specific combination of impairments, they don't always fit neatly into a simple statement that one condition received 100% rating. For example, the loss of multiple limbs may involve separate evaluations for each extremity, along with this special monthly compensation. But veterans dealing with a catastrophic loss should understand that ordinary disability percentages may only be one part of the compensation available. Special monthly compensation can be extremely important in these cases. Now let's return to the distinction we discussed at the beginning of the video. A 100% rating describes your current level of disability under the VA's rating system. Permanent and total status addresses whether the VA considers your total disability reasonably certain to continue throughout your life. They aren't automatically the same. The temporary rating following surgery clearly isn't intended to be permanent. A 100% cancer rating may change if the cancer enters remission and the VA later evaluates the remaining residual conditions. A 100% mental health rating can potentially be permanent, but the percentage itself doesn't automatically establish permanent and total status. TDIU may also be considered permanent in some cases, but TDIU isn't automatically permanent simply because it pays at the 100% rate. You should always review your decision letter and the VA benefit information rather than assuming that a 100% award is always going to be permanent and total. So in closing, one service-connected disability can get you to the 100% compensation level in several different ways. ALS can receive a minimum 100% schedular rating. Another condition can reach 100% by meeting a full rating criteria. Some active cancers may receive a 100% rating during the active disease or treatment periods. Surgery or hospitalization for one service-connected condition may result also in a temporary 100% evaluation. And one disability can support TDIU, allowing you to be paid at the 100% rate, even though the actual rating remains lower. But the biggest takeaway is this: being paid at 100%, having a 100% schedule rating, and being permanent in total aren't always the same thing. Understanding which one you actually have can affect future examinations, employment, dependents benefits, and what your family may qualify for. If you found this video helpful, consider subscribing. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.